Hi everybody, I'm Vu, and this is something we love to show to our patients. It's an articulated model with a night guard in it. When we propose a night guard, this gives them a tangible idea of what they are getting. The important thing is to have these articulated pins because they help to prevent, as you can see there, the upper or the opposing model from going side to side. And the way we do that is to use Medit Model Builder. I'm going to go ahead and click on the case here in the case box. Actually, I've already done that. And now we're going to click up here to the Medit Model Builder icon. Once that icon opens, you'll see here an assigned data box. If you've captured more than one occlusal relationship, then you'll have to pick it. Now, in this case, we only have one, but let's say, for instance, you had another one. You would click here, remove it, click here, remove it. Then you would pick the one you wanted, click it, click it, and add it. And then you would go ahead and click this confirm button here. And now that we're in the Model Builder app, it has imported the models which you have selected depending on your occlusal relationship. For this night guard application, we wanted this open-centric relationship. For study models, you may want the MIP scan. Instead, we're going to go ahead and click on this first icon up here, the area designation mode. And once you click on area designation, it's going to go ahead and give you a highlighted area of what it's going to print. Everything outside of this line is going to be extruded down. Everything outside of the teal zone is not going to be included in the model. And to expand that, you would slide this little thing here, or to contract it, you can do that. There's a paintbrush icon down here on the bottom. The most common application for the paintbrush icon is to paint missing teeth. For instance, if you had an edentulous space right in the middle here, what will commonly happen is it will clip off right at that last tooth and it will skip that lonely molar there. And so you take the paintbrush icon here, paint in the area that you want, and then you're ready to go there. After we've got the selection that we want for that area, we're going to go ahead and click the next icon right there, and that will take us to the model axis screen. Now the model axis includes a couple different ways to do it. Remember, in the Medit system, we have right for rotate, we have middle for translate, and left is just to select things. So let me go ahead and use this little 3-point system here to select our model axis. The 3 points are molar, left click molar, and left click incisor midline. And then it will make more often than not, it will give you an accurate base here. If you don't like the occlusal plane, use the right mouse button to slightly tweak it one way or the other. Do that on each of these planes here. You see this is a little more forward than I want, so I'm going to use the middle button to translate back, and then we're all set there. When you're doing an articulated model, it's very important that you get that occlusal plane correct, because if you don't, this is going to look askew when it prints out. So make sure you get that correct. Now we're going to go ahead and hit the next icon, and here's our model thickness. You can slide this in or out. Because I'm labeling it with text, we're going to leave it thick. If you aren't, you can leave it thin. There is an option here to make it straight or curved. The default is the curved appearance, where the base kind of curves outward like that. It's a more elegant classic appearance. If you want something more minimalist, click this icon to get the straight, and that will give you something that looks straight up extruded. I went to dental school before there was the internet, and we had to pour up our models in stone, and so this to me is more traditional and more comfortable for me. You decide. It's a stylistic argument, preference, whatever you want to call it. Let's hit the next button. Once we get to the next button, you'll see here it by default adds in 3 articulating joints. If you don't want articulating joints, just trash can them all like this. If you do want them, just add them back, 1, 2, and 3, and it will add them back. You can position it using the left button. You can make it longer, shorter, move it left or right. You'll notice here this one on the side is orange, which means that we need to reposition it or else it's going to not work. So you have to position it to where it's going to work again. I like it right there. We'll move this one out here as well. Bear in mind when you're positioning these things, you don't want them too wide or too deep, because that will take up more 3D printer space. So we're not going for an anatomically correct articulated joint, so we don't need to move it out to the patient's ears. We just want something to show the model casually. So keep it relatively small, otherwise you're going to be unpleasantly surprised when you try to print it. You won't have enough printer room because dental printers are relatively small in size. Keep it conservative. Let's go to the next button. The next button is our labeling screen, and what we're going to do here is label the text, and you can see by default it puts the case name here, and if that's what you want, that's fine. If you don't like a label, you can always trash can it. If you want to go ahead and put another label, say on the side, you can hit the plus button here and then type in what you want. Let's say instead I wanted to put my professional name, and maybe I can put my phone number. And there you go. You can get a little crazy here. We can put our website here on this side. Lots of different things you can do. Or we can put, you know, for another idea, you can put a descriptor for it, preoperative. Lots of different ideas here for you to get you going. You can pick how far or not far it sticks. I would suggest if you want something to print sticking out of a model that you keep it limited to 0.5 millimeter. That's going to decrease your chance of things failing. Or you can play it even safer and engrave it instead. Hitting the minus icon will cause the labels to stick in instead of out. Up to you, your choice on that. I just advise you not to have anything stick in or out too far, because that can create a overhang or an unsupported area. That may be a subject for another video. I'll just give you the Cliff Notes version on that. And when we hit the checkbox in the top here, or you could have also hit the next button here, it will go ahead and create the articulator in your Medit software. You can go ahead and save it. Nightguard case articulated models. Let's go ahead and hit save. And now it's going to kick you back over to the Medit Link software here in just a second. And if you go to the file viewer, you'll now see the printed model here. To hide it or unhide it, you would just click the eyeball here. It's synchronizing that model to the Medit Link software in the cloud. Now we can go ahead and click the export icon if we want to print it. Pick what folder you want it to go in. On the file list here, if you wanted to export all the other patient scans and models, you can. In our case, we only want the model builder stuff, so we're going to just go ahead. We actually don't even need that. We just need this 3D model data here. So I'm going to go ahead and click export here, and we're going to go ahead and create a new folder and export the files. You could pick that. It normally doesn't do this, but because I've exported it before, it's making me have the choice. I'm going to hit apply. And do I want to look at the folder? Sure. And there's our folder right there. You can see the 2 STLs. If I double click on it, it should pop open the model here. There's one model. And if I double click this one, it will have, well, let's do that again. If I double click this one up here, it will show me the lower model. One of the things that I did is I configured my system to open with 3D Builder because I find it handy. To do that, you would right click, open with, choose another app, and you can pick it from the list here and hit OK. I know by default you might have it set to Rayware or something else. I like 3D Builder because there's a few handy things you can do with it, and it's relatively quick to open your STL files. The next step is going to be to put it into the slicer, and that will be a subject of another video. Thanks for watching.